Hi, my name is Pierre, and today I want to talk to you guys a bit about transportation in Japan. I want to start this presentation by asking myself this question. What makes transportation in Japan so unique? The answer to that question is quite simply trains. To start with, trains in Japan are the product of fascinating innovation, combining speed, comfort, and reliability. Just for Tokyo itself, the list of major railway companies extend to 10 separate operators who all have a multitude of train lines. Where it gets kind of complicated is that these different operators have different ticketing systems. How I can explain this easy in terms of the Boston T is that if you wanted to ride the green line and then transfer to the orange line, you'd have to buy separate tickets because the green line would, for example, be operated by the Boston MBTA and the orange line would be operated by Amtrak. So you cannot buy the ticket at the same place. However, to solve this issue, Japan has introduced IC cards such as Suica, Pasmo, or Ikoka that can be used for every different operators, which eliminates this complication. I know it's quite hard to believe in the simplicity of the system after what I just explained to you, and also after Mike's presentation that shows how vast the system is, but as someone who has used it many times, I can assure you it's not as hard as you imagine it to be. Overall, the train system has managed to rely all neighborhoods of a big city and funnel these 10 different systems into one easy-to-use platform. What sets trains apart in Japan is the experience of riding one. Subways, as someone who grew up in New York City, are a symbol of dirtiness. However, in Japan, subways are always clean, always on time, and is a place of alarming quietness, essentially the opposite of a New York City subway. Furthermore, Japan's train system is one that is more than just local, because of the invention of the bullet train, or Shinkansen. These bullet trains maintain the standard of Japanese train by still having high standards in speed, comfort, and reliability. These bullet trains can go up to 320 kilometers an hour, which will get you from Tokyo to Kyoto in more or less 120 minutes, about a third of the time it would take you by car, and only around an hour more than it would take you to fly. The Shinkansen system has been developed across all of Japan, and one can now travel through Japan using bullet trains instead of planes, if they desired to. As the Shinkansen reaches Kagoshima Chuo, the southernmost point of Japan, and Shin Hakodate, the southern tip of the northern island of Hokkaido. Moving on from trains, cars do remain an essential part of transportation in Japan, just not as much as one would expect, considering all the big names for the automotive industry that hail from this country, such as Honda, Nissan, and Toyota. The first reason for this are the numerous expensive taxes and strict laws that come with owning a car. They add on fee after fee, either annual, added onto the purchase price, or through gas prices. It is effectively rather expensive to operate a car. Furthermore, the main reason as to why cars aren't as popular in Japan is quite simply the high density of the country. Japan's geography, if we're to simplify things, is essentially just mountains and packed cities. In order to achieve the high density, Japan has to sacrifice something. What they do is sacrifice roads, not only in quantity, but in size, as they have diminished with the width of most roads, which means less space for cars to move through, as well as lower speeds. Cars are harder to operate, more expensive to operate, and therefore not an attractive option. The only slight exception to this are K cars. These are cars that have limitations set by the government in terms of size and engine power. However, these cars come with reduced taxes, reduced operating costs. Around 40% of cars being used in Japan are these K cars that are recognizable through their general demeanor as well as their yellow license plates. Thank you for listening to my project. And the question I would like to extend to you all is how will the implementation of the Shinkansen in America affect commuting?